In module 1, we first talk about number system. Any negative number can be represented by three methods. First is called signed magnitude method. Second is called ones complement, and third is called twos complement. So these are the three method of representation of any negative number in digital system. So first we talk about signed magnitude method. In signed magnitude method or representation, both the positive and negative numbers must be represented in a computer. Here we add a bit, that is called a sign bit. Sign bit can be added to each number, whether it is positive or negative. So if the sign bit is considered as 0, then the number is positive. When the sign bit is 1, the number is negative. So this is the first representation of any number, whether it is positive or negative. Positive or negative number can be represented by a sign bit. If the sign bit is 0, the number is positive. If the sign bit is 1, the number is negative. There are some example. In 6-digit representation, 6 digit means 6 bits. So for example, we take 0 0 0 1 0 1 1. Here the sign bit is 0, means it is positive value, and this binary number represent 3, so it is plus 3. So this is a 6-digit representation number, that is plus 3. Other examples are 1 0 0 0 1 1. Here the sign bit is 1, means it is negative value, and this is again 3, so it is minus 3. 1 0 0 1 1 1. Here the sign bit is 1, the number is negative, and this is 7. Next is, here the sign bit is 0, so the value is positive. So these are the 6-digit representation. In case of 8-digit representation, we can consider 8 bits. Now here the sign bit is plus, means it is minus, negative, and this value is 8, so it is minus 8. Now this one is, the sign bit is 0, means it is positive, and the value is 8. So this is a simple sign magnitude representation of any binary number. Next method is ones complement method. Now a ones complement representation means, in this the number is obtained, the ones complement of a number is obtained by inverting each bit. So here we inverting each bit, including sign bit also, of the corresponding positive number. If there is any positive number, so in binary form we invert each bits including sign bit, and the result is called 1's complement. This complemented value represents the negative of the original number. If we take a positive number, then its 1's complement. 1's complement becomes negative number, and it is done simply by inverting each bit including 0. There is only one difficulty to represent 1's complement number. Here, if we represent 1's complement to represent any 0, for example, in a 8-bit representation, 0 is written as this one, and its 1's complement is simply this one. Here, this and this both represent 0. So it is a difficult. This show that there is a difficulty in representing zeros using 1's complement. Here, first one is also a positive 0, and the second one is also considered as a negative 0. This is considered as positive 0, and this is considered as negative 0. Now, the third method is 2's complement method. 2's complement representation can be find using 1's complement. Here we can find 2's complement by simply first determining 1's complement and then add 1 to it. It becomes 2's complement. For example, we have to find 2's complement of 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 0. We have to find the 2's complement of this 8-bit number. So here we first find 1's complement. 1's complement is 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1, and then add 1 to it. It becomes 2's complement. So it becomes 1 plus 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 0. This is a 2's complement of that number. So this is the answer. So this is a representation called representation of negative number, sign magnitude, 1's complement method and 2's complement method. Now we do some more examples. Another representation is called 9's complement and 10's complement. 9's complement and 10's complement. So we can find 9's complement using one example here. Find 9's complement. Now, example 1 is 12. 12. This is a decimal number. So the 9's and 10's complement are of decimal number. Means we can find 9's complement and 10's complement of any decimal number, and here the decimal number is 12, and we first find the 9's complement of this decimal number 12. For this, we first see that this 12, decimal number 12, having 2 digits. So we have to find 9. In order to find the 9's complement, we take 2 bits, 2 digits of 9, that is 99. We subtract 12 from this 99 and we simply get 87, and this is a 9's complement. 9's complement. This is a simple method to determine the 9's complement of any decimal number. Next example is 115. This is a decimal number. Here there are 3 digits, so we first write 999, that is the 3 digit of 9, and then subtract 115, we get a 9's complement. It becomes 884. This is also a 9's complement. Similarly, if there are 4 digits, then also we can determine 9's complement of that. For example, 3497. We have to find the 9's complement of this 4 digit number. For this we take 4 digit of 9's, 1 2 3. ठीक okay. Now subtract 3497, we get 6502. So this is also, this is called a 9's complement of any number. Now next is, in order to find 10's complement of any decimal number. 10's complement. Of decimal number. In order to find the 10th decimal, here we first find 9's complement and then add 1 to it. It gives 10's complement. For example, we have to find 10's complement of decimal number 12. Here we first determine 9's complement. For that we take 2 digit 9 and then minus 12, we get 9's complement, that is 87. After this we have in order to find 10's complement, we add 1 to it, then it gives a 10's complement. So 87 is called 9's complement and 88 is called 10's complement. This is a simple representation. Similarly, if there are 3 digit decimal number, for this we again find ones. For it we subtract 115 from 999 and we get 884. So 884 is called a 9's complement. After this we add 1 to it, 588. This is called 10's complement. Third example is 3497. For this we get a 4 digit decimal number. We subtract it, we get 9's complement, that is 6502. This is a 9's complement. Again we add 1 to it, it becomes 10's complement. So in this way we can represent any number in 9's complement, decimal number in 9's complement or 10's complement. In case of one's complement and 2's complement, it is for binary numbers, and 9's and 10's is for decimal number. In number systems, we first discuss decimal number system. For example, if we say decimal number 5678.9, So in order to represent this decimal number, we can easily write it as, this is a decimal number, .9. So we first write 0.9, we add it 8, then this is a unit place, tens place 7, so it is 70, then 600, then 5000. So in this way we can write any decimal number, or it can also be written as 5678.9 suffix 10. Suffix 10 means it is a decimal number. Okay, this is called base or radix. This is called base or radix. Now from here we simply again write it as 5 into 10 to power 3 plus 6 into 10 to power 2 plus 7 into 10 plus 8 into 10 to power 0 we can write it as, then there is a decimal point, and here 9 into 10 to power minus 1. So in this way we can write it as, now this is a decimal position value, these are the decimal position value as a power of 10, as a power of 10. Now we take one example here. Represent decimal number 98.72 in the power of 10. In power of 10. This is a question. We represent this decimal number in power of 10. So we consider this as n equals to 98.72. So we can write it as, before decimal point the power should be positive. So it is 8 into 10 to power 0 plus 9 into 10 to power 1. And after decimal number the power is negative, 7 into 10 to power minus 1 plus 2 into 10 to power minus 2. So in this way we can write decimal number in the power of 10. Here the number, here the digit 9 has a weight of 10. 9 has a weight of 10. Digit 8 has a weight of 1. Digit 7 having a weight of 1 by 10. And digit 2 has a weight of 1 by 100. Next is called binary number system. In binary number system we consider base as 2. So we know that decimal system with its 10 digits is a base 10 system. In decimal system we take a base 10. Similarly in binary system we have only 2 base system. It has 2 base systems. So in binary number system, binary number system has a 2 base system, yeah, or we can say base 2 system. So in this way, in order to write any binary system in a weighted form, we consider base 2 system. So if we consider this is a decimal binary point, before it this become 2 to power 0, 2 to power 1, 2 to power 2 dot dot dot. This is called MSB. After the binary point, the power is 2 to power minus 1, 2 to power minus 2, 2 to power minus 3 dot dot dot. Here we get a LSB. So this is a binary position value. Binary position value as a power of 2. Now we take example. Represent binary number 1101.101 in power of 2. In power of 2 and find its decimal equivalent, and we have to find decimal equivalent of this binary number. Now again we write n equals to one 101.101, and in power of 2 it can be written as, we focus on decimal point, binary point. Here first we focus on binary point. Before binary point there is 1101 and after this is 101. So accordingly we can write each bit as a power of 2. So here 1 into 2 to power 0, this is representation of just 1 which is just before 1, and then 0 into 2 to power 1, 1 into 2 to power 2, 1 into 2 to power 3. Again after decimal we write it as 1 into 2 to power minus 1 plus 0 into 2 to power minus 2 plus 1 into 2 to power minus 3. So we get 2 to power 3 is 8 plus 4 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0.5 plus 0 plus 0.125. After adding we get 13.625. This is in decimal number. So we can first write binary number as a power of 2 and we get decimal equivalent of this binary number. Next is octal number system. In octal number system we use 8 digits, so we can write it as base of 8. In octal number, oct means 8, so here we take base of 8. So we consider this. Now in order to represent any octal number as a power of 8, we can take one example here. First we represent octal number 567 in power of 8, and then find its decimal equivalent. So first we write 567 in form of octal number. So since there is no point, octal point here, so we can write 7 into 8 to power 0 plus 6 into 8 to power 1, then 5 into 8 to power 2. This value represent its corresponding after solving this we get 320 plus 48 plus 7, and after adding we get 375, and this is a decimal equivalent of octal number 567. Next is hexadecimal number system. Hexadecimal number system has a base of 16. And having 16 digits. From having 16 digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 is represented by A, then B, C, D, E and F. 10 is represented by A, then 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. 15 is represented by S, and total is 16 digit. So this is called hexadecimal number system. Now, in order to represent hexadecimal number system as a power of 16, we take one example. Represent hexadecimal number 3FD in power of 16 and find its decimal equivalent. Now, as the hexadecimal number has been a base of 16, so we can write 3FD as D is represented by D into 10 to power. This is a base of 16, so it is written as D into 16 to power 0 because it is base 16 plus F into 16 to power 1, then 3 into 16 to power 2. Now we calculate it 3 into 256 plus here F is 15 into 16 plus D is represented as 13 into 1, and it gives 768 plus 240 plus 13, and we get a decimal equivalent 1021 to base 10. So in this way we can represent any hexadecimal number in decimal equivalent system or hexadecimal number with the power of 16. Next topic is error detection code and parity bit. There are various schemes which are used for sending or transmitting digital data. For example, during transmission of various data over telephone lines, one bit or more than one bit error may occur. Because digital system must be accurate to a digit, error can become a serious problem. So several schemes have been devised to detect an error so that if the error occurs, the binary word will error can either be corrected, ignored or retransmitted at the receiving end. So here we first talk about parity bit. This is the simplest technique for detecting error. In this we can add an extra bit that is called a parity bit to each word that is to be transmitted. So the parity bit are of two types. Odd parity or even parity. So first we talk about odd parity. Odd parity and even parity. This can be understood using one example. For example, there is data which is to be transmitted 1110011. Now here we see bit 1. Bit 1 are 1 2 3 4 5 bits. 5 bits of 1 means we can say that total ones are 5. And here we talk about odd parity. In odd parity we can add one extra bit. So in this case, since there are 5 ones, it is already odd. So here we can add extra bit as 0. So the total ones are 5. Another example is if this is a data 1101010, here the total ones are 4. So we have to require one as extra parity bit so that the total ones become 5. So in this way we can use a parity bit. Again we take another example 01010000. Here there are 2 ones, total ones are 2, which is even. To make it odd we add parity 1. So the total ones become 3, which is odd parity. Similarly, there are many examples. If this is a data which is to be transmitted, now this is odd. There is total ones are 1, means odd. So there is a requirement of parity 0. So this is a odd parity. Here there are 6 ones which is even. To make it odd we add parity 1. So the total ones become 7. So these are the examples of odd parity. So at the receiving location, each 8-bit word, total 8-bit words, okay, data having 7 and parity is 0, and total means total 8-bit. this 8-bit word is then transmitted and received at the receiver. Now at the receiving end, each 8-bit word which is received is checked to see whether the data contains odd number of ones. If the word is received having even number of ones, the receiver will request a retransmission. Since most errors occur as a single bit inversion, this system works quite well. If, however, should two errors occur with the word, they would remain undetected. If there is an inversion of 2 bits, then this method is not applicable. So this above example is 1-1 of odd parity. Similarly, even parity can also be used in many systems. In case of even parity, suppose we have a data (7-bit). To make it a 8-bit data, we required a parity, and here we talk about even parity. The number of ones is 1, which is odd. To make it even, we add a parity 1 so that the total ones become 2. So in this way the 8-bit data is then transmitted. 1 1 1 1 0 1 0. Here the number of ones are 1 2 3 4 5 odd. To make it even, we add 1, so it becomes 6. 1 0 1 0 0 0 0. Here the number of ones are 2, so there is no requirement of parity. Parity 0, so there are 2. 1 0 0 0 1 0 1. Here the number of ones are 3, so there is requirement of parity 1, and their total ones become 4. 1 1 1 1 0 0 0. Total number of ones are 4. This is already even, so the parity is 0. So in this way we can make a data having one parity bit. Now at the receiver side, we only count the number of ones. If it is okay, then we get a correct data. If there is any inversion of 1 bit, so this method is quite easy. We check it and then ask for retransmission. After detecting error, there is requirement of correction this error, that is called error correcting code. So error correcting codes are the codes which are not only capable of detecting error, by means they can only detect whether the error has occurred during the transmission or not. They have no means to identify the bit in which the error has been taken. The error detecting code cannot be used to correct the data at the receiver end even after detecting the error. So because of some telephone company having a great interest in communication, they have performed extensive research in finding codes that not only detect an error but correct the error. So R.W. Hamming developed a system that is easily implemented. In Hamming code, we assume 4 data bits which must be transmitted, and the word format would as follows. So here we talk about Hamming code. Hamming code have this format. It has 4 data bits starting from P1, P2, D3, P4, D5, D6, D7. So the total are 7. Now where the 0 bit are the data bit and the P bits are the parity bits. P1 is set so that it establishes even parity Now there is a parity bit P1. The parity bit P1 is so set, it establishes even parity over the bit 1, 3, 5 and 7. Similarly, that is P1, D3, D5 and D7. Similarly, P2 is set for even parity over the bits 2, 3, 6 and 7. Means P2, D3, D6 and D7. And P4 is set as even parity over the bits 4, 5, 6 and 7. That is P4, D5, D6 and D7. So we have to use this Hamming code for error correction. This can be explained with the help of one example. Question is, data bit 1001 must be transmitted. Construct the even parity. Construct the even parity. Seven-bit Hamming code. Now, first of all, we write P1, P2, D3, P4, D5, D6 and D7. Now write, there are 4 data bit, means it is 1, 0, 0, 1. Now we have to find P1, P2, P4. Since P1 is set as even parity for which digits? For 1, 3, 5 and 7. 1, 3, 5, 7. So we check it. 1, 3, 5, 7. D7, D5, D3 and P1. D7 is 1, D5 is 0, D3 is 1. To make it even, since there are total number of ones are 2, it is even. Okay, so the parity ones must be 1. So in this P1 we can write 0. Similarly, for P2, for P2 is set as even parity. The bits used are 2, 3, 6, 7. So here D7, D6, D3 and P2. D7 is 1, D6 is 0, D3 is 1, and so accordingly there are total number of ones are 2, which is even, so we must write P2 equals to 0. So again P2 is 0. Now for P4 to set as a even parity, the bits used are 4, 5, 6, 7. Means we use D7, D6, D5, P4. D7 1, D6 0, D5 0. Now here the total number of ones are 1. To make it even, the value of P4 must be 0. So here P4 is 1. So in this way we can construct a even parity 7-bit Hamming code. So this is a even parity 7-bit Hamming code.